Hi guys, welcome to my channel again. I'm Dr. Sunny, your host, and tonight I'm bringing you two suitcase killings. One from the US and the other from a tiny island in the Indian Ocean, Sri Lanka. Viewer discretion is strongly suggested that this is not for viewers under the age of 18. Guys, the first one from the US is a disturbing story of a then 32-year-old female killer. The crime was dubbed the Suitcase Murder. Let's get into it. It was the year 2004. On May 5th, a suitcase containing human legs was found washed up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and a murder investigation was launched. 6 days later, on May 11th, a second suitcase was found floating in the bay containing a man's head and torso with 2 bullet wounds. This was a much larger suitcase. 5 days later, on May 16th, a smaller suitcase containing human arms was recovered as well. A facial reconstruction sketch of the victim was released by the police, and a man came forward to say he recognized the face as his acquaintance, Bill McGuire's. Investigations revealed that Bill McGuire and his wife, Melanie Lynn, a registered nurse, led a very unhappy life, where she was waiting for a chance to get rid of him, as she was having a lover at her workplace. She had even asked for protection from abuse against husband Bill for physical assault, a slapping incident. As investigations continued, 32-year-old Melanie Lynn became the prime suspect. It was revealed also that Lynn was having this extramarital affair with her lover, Bradley Miller, and wanted to be with Bradley forever. Melanie Lynn and Bradley Miller worked together as he was a doctor at the hospital she worked as a nurse. Melanie had 2 young sons by that time, and Bradley Miller was a married man with 3 kids. It didn't matter to them, as they were supposed to have been conspiring on how to get rid of their spouses. On April 26, 2004, Melanie Lynn purchased a .38 caliber handgun with unusual kind of bullets called wad cutter bullets from a store in Easton, Pennsylvania. Bill McGuire was killed with a .38 caliber handgun with wad cutter bullets. More and more information pointing to her guilt was revealed, and even the plastic bags that contained the body parts were determined by forensics to be from the same roll of bags she had in her home. The suitcases that the body parts were found in matched a set that she had in her basement, which was missing the same size bags as those the body parts were found in. Further, fibers found in the dead body matched those from the type of sofa that the couple had owned, indicating that a cushion had probably been used as a makeshift silencer. Similarly, a medical-grade towel was found with the body, matching those in the house and others stocked at the clinic she worked in. Police believe that Melanie Lynn had used a syringe and prescription from her work to obtain the drug used as means to incapacitate her husband Bill. That night, according to the prosecution, she drugged her husband, shot him to death, and subsequently dismembered his body, dumped his remains into a 3-piece suitcase. The New Jersey woman Melanie Lynn was convicted of murdering her husband on April 28, 2004, in what the media dubbed the Suitcase Murder. She was sentenced to life in prison on July 19, 2007, and is serving a sentence at the Edna Mahan Correctional Facility for Women in Clinton, New Jersey. She will not be eligible for parole until she is 100 years old. Her lover, Dr. Bradley Miller, was not found guilty of any murder plot. He has since moved on and is now living in Troy, Michigan. Apart from being the author of 20 scientific articles, he has received various awards for his contribution to medicine. And now we move on to a story that occurred just a few weeks ago in Sri Lanka, an island in the Indian Ocean. A large suitcase was found dumped in the middle of a busy street in Colombo, Sri Lanka, on the 1st of March 2021. Once the police was called, they found a headless female body in it. Aghast, the police got to work, and their investigations and the CCTV camera footage helped them identify the man who abandoned the suitcase to be a 52-year-old sub-inspector of the police by the name of Adhikari Premasiri. Once the police was, through intense investigations, able to identify who the dead woman was, the police found out that this 30-year-old single woman, whose name was Dilini Yasuri, had a lover, a 52-year-old father of 3, married man. His name was Adhikari Premasiri, whose wife also had been aware of this affair and was helpless in this situation, watching on as this illicit affair was corroding their marriage. It had been revealed that the 30-year-old unmarried woman, Dilini, had kept on asking her married lover to keep his promise and marry her, and he had said he would. Guys, he may have told her what a bad wife he had, so he could win over her sympathy and use her for sexual pleasures. He might have seen her as an easy mark. And guys, we hear of these horrible men who have illicit sexual affairs while being married, and how they usually spin tales to gullible, foolish women on how miserable they are in their marriage as the wife is so abusive to them. Oh, come on, give me a break, guys. These credulous, naive women, like Dilini, may have taken the whole rigmarole as a compliment, as she would have felt that this man is confiding in her because he loves her. He may have promised to marry her, but well, guys, he was a married man. He probably wasn't in a hurry to leave his wife and his children. In late February this year, the 50-year-old married Casanova and his 30-year-old lover, Dilini, had met up at a hotel where they decided to spend a few days together, signing the hotel guest book as a married couple. I need to inform you guys that I found out that in Sri Lanka, illicit sexual dealings are against the law, as it's a peaceful Buddhist country, and marriage vows are held high and sacred by the majority of the population. It is suspected that the lovers may have had an argument that got out of control, and that the 52-year-old policeman may have strangled her to death, cut her head off, and disposed of the head in the river nearby. However, no searches have led to the missing head. Before the police could catch up to the killer, he committed suicide a day later by hanging. The bodies were buried by the respective families. Guys, the police are yet to locate her missing head. Coming at these events of both cases I presented to you, from a theological point of view, every religion, as we know, warns us against illicit sexual dealings and illicit sexual relationships. They do not end well. Christians believe that those who engage in these types of immoral acts will be punished by God. Thou shalt not commit adultery. My friend Justin, a devout Catholic, told me that they believed that those who commit adultery would burn in eternal hellfire. In Hinduism, adultery is condemned as a moral sin. He or she who commits adultery is punished here and hereafter, for his or her days in this world are cut short, and when dead, they fall into hell. Buddhism regards sexual misconduct as a negative expression of craving after sexual stimulation. It's believed to be a terrible karmic misdeed that will pull the perpetrators down to hell. And murder, guys, as you saw in both these stories, guys, do we even need to talk about the deadly hellish punishments murderers would face? That's it from me tonight. Tell me what you think, guys, leaving a comment in the comments box. I hope you give me a like and subscribe too. Thank you. Good night.